Keeping Texans Healthy. That's the goal of Health Texas Medical Group of San Antonio. And today we're talking pool safety. The sun is out, the heat is definitely up, and the kids are either out of school or about to be out of school. So we want to make sure those pool rays don't turn dangerous. Joining us again today is Dr. Kristi Clark, Medical Director at Health Texas Medical Group. Welcome back.
Hi, Fiona.
So good of you to be here. Today we are talking pool safety, and we have some questions from our viewers. Are you ready to answer some of them?
Let's dive in.
I love that. We're going to make a splash. Okay. First question comes from Twitter. What is swimmer's ear and how do you treat it?
Swimmer's ear. So swimmer's ear is one of those parts of summer that's as common as flip-flops and sand, but it's easy to prevent. And so I'm going to tell you a couple of good tips. But so swimmer's ear basically is an infection that we get in the canal of our ear. And it happens when we have water stuck there and bacteria basically overgrows. So once you get those symptoms, you might get itching, redness, fullness in your ear, maybe even some drainage or discharge. So if that happens, you probably already need to go in and see your physician, maybe get some drops and that, get that taken care of. But I do want to give viewers two really good tips to prevent that from happening. You got to remember that children get this a lot because their ear canals are small, Fiona, they're narrow, so the bacteria easily grows in there. So what you can do at home is make a concoction of one part of white vinegar and then one part of rubbing alcohol. And then if the kid swims a lot, or they swim in lakes or other kinds of natural water reservoirs
that might have some of that bacteria,
absolutely. Put a few drops in their ear after swimming, let it drain back out just for a few seconds. The second key thing is don't irritate the ear canal. Even though we're tempted to use Q-tips, don't, because you rub off some of that natural protective barrier and it makes that bacteria more able to grow. Another thing, earbuds. We all have earbuds in now. We all listen to music. So if you are suffering from swimmer's ear, you want to keep the earbuds out for a few days as well. But just a couple of tips to keep the kids and adults without swimmer's ear.
Okay, now we have, and I love it. I just learned so much about that. I'm like listening. Okay, all right. Second question comes from our audience member, Jonathan.
Hi, Dr. Clark. Yeah, fate brought us here today. I was actually just thinking last night, my wife and I got a pool put in. This is our second summer. It's hot. Our kids are swimming every single day. So do chemicals. I mean, it takes a lot to keep that water clean. Do all the chemicals we put in, do they affect our kids if they swim every day for an entire summer, any short-term or long-term effects?
This is a great question. It's very common. So in a short answer, no. Chemicals overall promote health more so than a detractor of health. Chlorine is the main concern that people use in pools. And we do know that chlorine can cause long-term effects when used in high amounts. So it's important that if you are managing your own pool or if you're going to visit a pool, that your chlorine is used in the appropriate concentrations. Remember, too much chlorine is just as bad as too little chlorine. Some of the places you can notice this the most if you go to like a kiddie pool where you might be using the same concentrations in a smaller volume of water versus a larger volume of water. But even in cases like that, it's still very minimal effects on children. Usually it's skin. They might get irritation on their skin. They might have burning eyes, irritation. But overall, there's no good evidence that it does long-term damage or any more than minor skin damage. I would also add, teach kids early not to swallow water. So whether it's chlorine or whether you're worried about certain bacteria from oral contamination, teach your kids early not to swallow water. But yes, overall, keep them in good check, and chlorine overall does more benefit than harm.
Kind of side question, chlorine, is that the best, or are there any other options out there?
Chlorine is still what most people use, yeah. Yeah, and it's a good option.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. So this comes from Facebook, and I know I grew up with my mom, drilling this into my head. Don't get back in the water, right after you eat. Wait like an hour. So how long should you wait?
I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of great things about being a doctor. One of the greatest is the knowledge to tell my mom, you were wrong. So
can you tell my mom that? I don't
I'll tell your mom too. Give me her number. So really, that's a myth. There's absolutely no reason people have to wait to get back into the water. It comes from a thinking that when people are after they've eaten, a lot of the blood flow goes to the digestive system, and hence they don't have as much blood flow in the arms and legs, and people were worried they would get horrific cramps, and that you would cramp up and you would drown. The truth of the matter is that people who do drown, it's not happening because they've just eaten. It's not happening because they've just had a big meal and cramping. So worst case scenario, you have a big meal, you're probably not going to win the lap relays after the pool, or maybe be good at volleyball or whatever you guys are playing. But overall, it's fine to get in the water. I would like to add one thing. It brings up that alcohol would be actually something more worrisome or to consider more, because if you think about adult deaths in water, about 40% are alcohol related. So don't worry so much about the cheeseburger, think twice, with some of the alcohol
drinks. Yeah. Right, there you go. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Doctor. There's the information on your screen. Thank you for answering those questions today. Don't forget to visit KSAT.com/HealthTexas for even more great information about your health from Health Texas Medical Group. And to make an appointment, you can call 210-731-HTMG. That's 731-HTMG, or head to healthtexas.org.